You're listening to Spotlight on Business on Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Once again, here's your host, Laura Smith.
Welcome back to the October episode of Coffee Talk with the one and only Regina Troyer. She is the maven of coffee and all things coffee in terms of everything that goes into making your morning ritual, your afternoon ritual, and for some people, even their night ritual, the best of the day. Regina, your coffee is so good, and you're one of the few people besides the Brazilians that I know who drink coffee at night.
I do drink it at night. I know that sounds really crazy.
No, you do, but you're obviously able to handle it. If I drink coffee after 3 p.m., I can't sleep at night.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So that's my cutoff time. But boy, oh boy, can I tell you something? I'm craving it. Sometimes after a dinner, I just want a good cup of coffee.
Yes.
I can't afford to do that. But you happen to have probably the most amazing decaf I've ever tasted.
We have really good decaf. And it isn't cheap, but our decaf is all water processed. So let's talk about that. Water processed means they don't use any chemical. So the typical method of decaffeination used to be called the European process, which sounds scary. They use methylene chloride. So the bean is actually soaked in that, and then the caffeine separates and it's skimmed off. The bean is washed and dried. However, there's a slight chance that some of that chemical could still be on your bean. So hence, that's why they say decaf is so bad for you. Well, about a year ago, I made the choice to switch over to water processed only. And we currently have 3 different varieties in decaf. We have a Sumatran, which is very low acidity, which is gentle on your stomach. And right now we have an organic Peru that is fabulous as a decaf. It's so smooth. And then our Colombian, which is also very smooth. And I would just say this, all of our flavored coffee is done on a water processed bean as well. So you can get any of our fall flavors in decaf, and it's a great option if you want it for dinner, after dinner or in the evening. But we have a lot of people that just can't handle all the caffeine anymore. So it's a great option. And I will say it's very hard, even in a regular grocery store, to find a decaf flavored coffee that tastes good.
Uh-huh. And so in case somebody missed the first part of the show, what are the flavors for the month of October?
Yes. So Vermont maple, which is that warm maple, natural cinnamon, and then pumpkin spice, which is very flavorful, spicy notes. And then we also have the campfire s'mores, that chocolatey marshmallow, graham cracker. And then for the single origin, we're doing the Nicaraguan, and we have that in a medium as well as a dark. And I just wanted to mention the notes on that. It's chocolatey and caramel, has a hint of citrus. It does have some acidity, but I feel like it's very balanced. And I think it's one of those coffees you can drink black. It doesn't need cream and sugar. I know some people have a hard time drinking it black. And also wanted to just encourage people, when you're drinking your coffee and you first brew it in the morning, try to let it get cool, like a little bit cooler than when you're brewing it, because your tongue cannot decipher taste above 185. And you're usually brewing that at about 200 degrees if you have a good brewer. So at about 130, when your coffee is almost lukewarm, is when you can actually taste the characteristics of your coffee. So take a minute, let it cool before you really slurp on it. And it's probably going to taste a little smoother.
Interesting. Who knew? Who knew? Did you go to coffee school?
I haven't officially gone to coffee school, but I've gone to a lot of classes, and I've done a lot of, online training, that kind of thing. I did go to a brewing 101 segment one time at Coffee Fest up in Chicago. It was a very detailed class where we sat in with 10 different kinds of brewers, and they brewed the same coffee 10 different ways. And it was so interesting. Just different methods as far as like pre-infusion, where it pre-wets the grounds and then it extracts the water over the grounds, and French press, all of that. It's a great exercise to do, to take the same coffee grounds or beans and then brew it different ways, because you will get a different taste.
Yes. And you've had all these years of experimentation. How much of it comes from learning from mistakes, or how much of it is just
Trust me.
Is it? I mean, if you're roasting your own, there must be, of course, you follow instructions, and I'm sure there's temperatures and things that you have to do. But I would imagine a lot of nuance has to go into coffee roasting.
It kind of does. And I think some of them I've learned over the years that there's certain coffee beans I don't roast dark, and there's certain ones I don't go really light on, because in the roasting process, once you go through, okay, so the coffee cherry or the coffee bean goes in my roaster. As it's heating, it goes through what we call first crack, which is at about 370 to 380 degrees. So once it starts cracking, it sounds like popcorn popping, and the chaff comes off of it. And so then any moisture that's in that bean is kind of burned out, and then it kind of caramelizes some of those flavors. Well, if you keep roasting, and it goes into what is called second crack, which is dark roast. So what happens to some of the coffees is you can change the acidity in it. So if a coffee is very acidic and doesn't taste good, it will become more chocolatey, or it kind of mutes some of that acidity. So it's really great for certain ones. Like I love the Nicaraguan as a dark because I feel like it mutes some of the acidity.
Okay.
And just some of those different components. However, Costa Rican coffee, very bright acidity, ruins it when you go dark. I'm not a fan of dark Costa Rican, so I don't offer it in dark.
Uh-huh.
Same with Guatemalan. I don't like Guatemala Antigua dark. I just think you're ruining it. So some of that is trial and error. And trust me, I have had my share of expensive mistakes, like over roasting different ones. I did have a client one time that wanted a dark roasted Jamaican Blue Mountain, and that absolutely ruined it. Which brings me back. I did want to talk about Jamaican Blue because we have it in right now.
Uh-huh.
So kind of like a fine wine, our Kona coffee and our Jamaican Blue is top shelf. It runs about $64 a pound, and ours is 100%. It is not a blend. So we do have those available right now.
Okay. And that goes for everything. So now you're going to have this large space that you're going to be able to have the room to teach people right there, as they're doing it. And I know you have an amazing staff. So you must really be gearing up because it's going to change the dynamic. I'm sure you were in this tiny, tiny, tiny space. It was really, fun because you'd go in there and only like two people at a time. It was very cozy. That was for sure. It was cozy. But now you're going to have all this room, and there's just... you're going to have trouble getting people out of there, I have a feeling.
We will have about 20 seats. It won't be a lot. I know another thing I just was reminded, because we're on the bike path, and I've got more and more people on the bike path. And so we're going to put a bike rack in too, so that you can stop and have a cup of coffee or sit for a little bit, rest, get a bottled water if you want. So that's something I want to add as well. I did want to mention a couple dates. November 14th is when we will bring out our Christmas coffees. And I know a lot of people are anxiously waiting for all of those because we usually have about 10 flavors that we do for the holidays. We always bring out something new. And then just so people know those are available. So if you even want to buy them before Thanksgiving, they're going to be on the shelf. And then we're also doing our open house, our December 6th open house. And we do that every year, the first Saturday of the month. And it's a $2 off plus your punch card sale. So bigger than ever this year. We'll have live music. I'm super excited.
Oh, I love your open house.
Yeah.
And my morning partner of 95.3 MNC here from Monday through Friday, he loves to come too. And he brings his wife. And
I love it.
We turn it into quite an affair with many.
People love meeting you too. Like, it's fun.
Well, I love meeting because there's so many listeners that end up showing up for that.
I know.
And everybody always wants to tell me, oh, I went to the Refinery Coffee Company. Oh, I met Regina. Oh, they just know. And they're like, now we get it.
It's fun.
Yeah, it really is.
I did have the listener that won the little certificate last month. Her and her husband came in and had a great conversation with them. And they were able to, I talked to them about Kona. We were talking about if we'd ever do like a coffee tour, and they were immediately interested. And they ended up they bought an AeroPress from me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned that, and we started talking about methods of brewing and talked her into trying it. So.
Well, but what's wonderful with you is whatever you sell, you give people you training on how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what you're doing. So it's not like you're just going to be sent home with this. That got to figure that out for yourself, because I would never be able to. But you you're knowledgeable on all of it, and you're the teacher, and you're right there. So I just can't wait for this open house. Maybe by the next time I see you, which will be in November, you will have already had it.
Yes.
But we'll make sure that we tell people throughout the week when the open house
for the grand opening is what you're saying.
The grand opening of
so
your
we
new
will
space.
do a ribbon cutting, and we will announce it on Facebook. So watch our Facebook page, Refinery Coffee, and then also I will definitely send you the memo so you can announce it on the air, because it'll be probably on a Friday. That's what I'm thinking. But maybe after you do the show. I don't know if you're on Fridays, because I want you to be there.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about the logistics.
Yes, for sure. And but you do have a website, and people can, if there are people who listen to our station that live hours and hours and hours from here. They listen on the app.
Yeah.
And so I had a couple who came to Portugal with me. So they are familiar with hearing all about Refinery Coffee Company, but normally they wouldn't be able to, because it's like a 4-hour drive or whatever. But you have an online space where you can sell your coffee and have it shipped to them.
We do. And I'm always amazed at how many people order coffee from the East Coast, West Coast. I even now have somebody from the Chicago Bears. Yes. Somebody that is on staff that we're shipping directly to them, and I love it.
Well, I remember when they approached you for sending them coffee, and then they received it, and you got a letter back from him.
I did, a handwritten letter and a box of merch. How cool is that?
That is so cool, because didn't he say something about it being the best that he's ever had?
And he ordered again since then. So how cool is that?
I'm telling you, it's just the beginning.
Go Bears.
Yeah, go Bears. Exactly. Well, Regina Troyer, we love having you here. It is a definite highlight to have you and Coffee Talk on the air. So people can find you on your Facebook page, the Refinery Coffee Company, Goshen, or therefinerycafe.com is the website to order if you like. The refinerycafe.com, and just be out on the listen for when this open house is going to be there.
The grand opening.
The grand opening. And I know that I would love to see everybody there who is listening to us right now.
Exciting. Well, thank you for having me. It's always a joy.
My goodness. It's pure joy, pure pleasure. Cannot wait for my Vermont maple and my Nicaragua dark. Thank you so much. This has been Coffee Talk. I'm Laura Smith.
If you missed any part of today's show, log on to 953mnc.com and look for the Spotlight on Business podcast. Be sure to tune in again next Sunday afternoon at 4:30 for Spotlight on Business on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Podcasts by Federated Media.